that.
tech, So
I know.
it's preparing it now, I think. It says it's preparing anyway.
Great.
Yeah. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm not sure if we're still quite live. Maribel, can you tell? Because it keeps saying preparing. I just want to make sure I've got everything set up correctly. Maribel's muted, so she may or may not be able to find out. Well, okay, it doesn't show yet. All right, so do I need to click live again? I don't know. It's such a great technology. It seems like I'm so close to having it work.
I know, right? It was great to have my son living at home for a while because I could be like, come here.
Yes, that's right. Where's my techie team? Yes.
I know, exactly. Well, he just moved to Boston, so now I'm up the same creek you are.
No, well, I have Maribel, who is awesome, but she's multitasking. She's my marketing manager, but I know she's doing several things. So Maribel, she has a loud background, so she's muted. Got it. Let me just see. It says live stream is happening and recording is happening. I'm just going to go with it. And worst comes to worst, we're just going to be recorded on Zoom and we'll share it that way.
Okay.
So, welcome everybody to the BLOCKbuster Show, where I help you remove your blocks and see exactly what you need to do to remove your blocks. For those of you who don't know me already, I'm Dr. Pamela Moss. I'm known as the Soul Guide, and I'm your block busting alchemist. And really what I'm all about is alignment. So removing blocks allows us to step into alignment with what we desire in our lives. And I'm very excited today to have a friend and colleague on the show who has come with a block that she has. And we're going to do some work with that. And I just want to make sure that I have everything here that I need. Just one second. I'm just looking to make sure I have this one thing up that I want to have up. And I do. Okay, or close enough anyway. I'll just take it from here. Okay, so why don't we just dig in right away, and I'm just going to welcome Sarah to the show. And Sarah, I know that you are really stepping up in your business and in your life. And for anybody who's doing that, there's typically like we're like mentally like, yes, I want this, let's do it. And then yet we seem to be bumping into resistance, fear, doubts, whatever. So what's going on for you in this area? What seems to be the trouble?
Yeah. So like you mentioned, I'm stepping up in both my business and my life, and I'm really shifting into being a more public / authority figure. So, been in my industry for a really long time. I have a lot of expertise. I've raised a lot of money. I've raised more than 80 million.
Whoa, that's incredible.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And I actually just got tapped to write a $20 million grant for the Kellogg Foundation. So
I saw that. That is so
million
inspiring. Do you want to say something about that grant? Because I am so inspired by what you were doing. It's such a big
okay. Thing. Yeah. So I live in the city of Worcester, Massachusetts, which is about 200,000 people. And it's a post-industrial city and very diverse population. And about 70% of the students enrolled in our public school system are students of color. And so I'm going to be working with a citywide coalition of people to dismantle the school to prison pipeline.
Wow.
That exists. And yeah, and so this could be a really big project. We're expecting a little bit of challenge with it because we're challenging status quo and norms. And we need to not only change people's knowledge, but also their attitudes and their behavior and across multiple systems. So it's a $20 million grant. If we get this money and we can actually make some inroads, this could be a project that gets replicated across the United States. So
super exciting. Wow. And so important, so important. It's just hard to see, what's been going on for decades with the school to prison pipeline. So, wow, I'm so happy you're doing this. And I really want to support you. So you have this awesome grant going on and you're really stepping up in so many ways. So what seems to be in the way of you, or what are you noticing that seems to make you feel like you're blocked?
Well, so I know in my head that I'm amazing, right? So I have all these, I'm really smart. I have all this experience. I have all the credentialing, blah, blah, blah. But it's like my whole life, I've been told I'm too much, right? So from the time I was little, I have this very exuberant personality and I'm very creative and I'm talkative and, gregarious. And so like, as I'm stepping out into this shift in my business to be an authority figure, and my deep desire is to spark a revolution in philanthropy so that philanthropy can be revolutionary, right? And there's like so many ways I want that to happen. And I'm excited and I'm passionate, but I just find, like you said, I'm bumping into resistance. Also, I'm terrified. Like,
Terrified. Wow. So tell me more
yeah.
about that. What's the terror about?
Well, it's about fear of rejection, fear of abandonment. People like to be trolls on the internet. So, as I step out into a space where I really push the nonprofit sector to move beyond where it is now. So I feel like the nonprofit sector has really gotten into kind of a status quo space where we kind of stuck our finger in the dam.
Yeah.
And I think we can do more. And especially because the needle isn't moving on social problems.
Right. And it really has to. Like, this is the time when we're being asked to seriously make changes.
Exactly. Right. So, and we all know that people are resistant to change. We humans aren't great with change. So, I know that there's a lot of people that are going to be really attracted to what I'm doing. And there's people who are going to not like what I'm saying.
Yeah. You are not a neutral figure, and you're not on a neutral mission.
Right. No, not at all. No, I'm very clear that I'm not neutral. I am not Switzerland, right? Yeah. And so for me, it's I don't want anything to get in the way. Like, this is too important. There's like 1.5 million nonprofits in the United States. And I want to reach as many of them as possible and encourage them. And like, I don't want to speak from the bully pulpit, but like, come on, folks, let's get our act together.
Yeah, but you kind of do. You're what I've seen of your work is it's inspiring, and it's also kind of tough love. Like, come on, you have a mission, and you're just going da 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 da.
Yeah. I do throw a little bit of tough love in there, but it's only because I really want to see people thrive.
Yeah.
And I'm a truth speaker.
Jolted out of their complacency. Yeah.
And I've always been that person that's like, oh, the emperor, he doesn't have any clothes on.
Yeah, exactly. People in power do not love you, perhaps, but that's
exactly. Emperors are not my biggest fans.
Yeah, so many reasons why it's important to get you out of your way, because you are really here with a big mission for the planet, for people in America, and the world, and all the ways the nonprofits can truly make a difference. So, so the way this process works, I'm going to just show you the overview of the process, what I call the soul alignment system, to remove your blocks, to align with what you really want. And I'm just going to share the screen for a moment, if I can find that right here. Yes, here it is. Okay, so basically there's 6 steps. So the first one is, and we'll do at least the first one with you today, and we might get a little farther. We'll just see how far we go. The first step is revealing your resonant goal. So we're going to start with the end result of how you want to experience yourself and your business and what you want to have be possible, and just really get clarity of like, what do you want about that, which is going to, of course, push up your fear and your doubt and all that stuff. But don't worry, never fear. The reason the resonant goal is so important is because you really need to be clear about what the end result you want is, and it also truly be inspiring for you. You might even have a embodied perspective on it that we're going to get today, which will actually shift your energy, so you'll see a higher perspective. So that's the first part of the soul alignment system, is to reveal your resonant goal. And then we'll talk about the other parts afterwards. But I just want to actually just show you, like, there is a system there we're at work on here, and we have a plan for how to get you unstuck about this.
Great.
So the first step is, as I was saying before, the resonant goal. And resonance means like your heart is like, yes, because our heart, that's what resonance means. It's in our heart. So what is it that you really want to be true? It's, like if there wasn't this fear of rejection, abandonment, the trolls, and pushing people's buttons and all that stuff, if it just were like, how do you want it to be? What does your heart say would be just so wonderful if you could experience yourself and everything else as you move forward into this leadership position?
Yeah. So I really want to help nonprofits fulfill their potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of limiting beliefs that are circulating through the nonprofit world. And
world of a lot of scarcity for whatever reason. Yeah.
Right. So I really want to help nonprofits get out from under all the scarcity, right? And also stop believing we have to do more with less. I'm like, are you okay? Like, no, we need more so we can do more.
Right. No, that's like a mantra, and like any mantra, it becomes like real after a while to people.
Yeah. And so, it's like, people in the nonprofit sector, and having worked in the nonprofit sector, I can tell you, I heard this, you just get brainwashed into
Yeah.
thinking there's no money out there, spending money is bad. It's like, there's no differentiation between like spending and investing. Just all spending equals bad, stretch every single penny till it breaks. But yeah, it's like we have 1.5 million nonprofits, and I would love to see each and every one of them thrive, because like between the people, the animals, the environment, like all of their causes, like the world could be such a different place.
Yeah, they're really about changing the world, creating the more
Yeah,
beautiful world our hearts know is possible. Yes.
exactly.
So these are beautiful goals for what you want for your clients. We're talking here though about you, because
Yeah.
you were the one with the fear of rejection and abandonment and trolls, et cetera, et cetera. So how do you want to experience yourself and in this whole process of stepping up to really help nonprofits fulfill their true potential?
Yeah, I want to lead the revolution with ease and grace and confidence.
Lead the revolution with ease. And wait, sorry, I can't talk and write
That's
this.
okay.
I realize I'm trying to do that's not working. With ease and grace and confidence. So I lead the revolution with ease and grace and confidence. And right now, on a scale of like 1 to 10, with 1 being absolutely not and 10 being absolutely yes, how true is that for you? Like that you lead the revolution with ease and grace and confidence.
I would say I'm probably like a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
Maybe.
So it's pretty good. So
Yeah.
so the terror and rejection and trolls, which you mentioned, don't sound like they're entering into it that strongly, or
Oh no, trust me. Like right now, my stomach's in a knot. So
okay. So
like
that's
episodic.
it's
So like,
episodic. Okay.
yeah. So like earlier today, I was writing my next Powered by Philanthropy story, and that gets me into a really inspired place, right? So when I'm in that space, it feels great. But then other times it just shows up in massive resistance. So there's things I know that I, air quotes, should be doing to move myself into this space.
Mhm.
It's like I don't do them.
Gotcha.
Like,
Gotcha.
oh, let me go do my laundry.
I understand. Anything looks better than that thing you said you do. I will
Let me
scrub.
clean out my let me clean out my sock drawer, right? Like,
I understand. And yet this is so going to get in the way of you really fulfilling your mission.
yes.
Yes. So this is good. So because it's episodic, like sometimes you're either in your inspired place or you're in your terrified place. It kind of sounds like
Yes.
a duality. You say maybe that's an exaggeration, or is that kind of how it feels? Like you're either inspired and on it and good, or you're really like knots in your stomach and terrified and all that, or sort of.
I wouldn't say that it's that extreme. Like now that I'm talking to you about it, my stomach's in a knot, right? But it's really more subtle than that. So I do get really inspired when I'm like on the phone with clients or doing things to move projects forward. It's really, there's this whole list of things I, know I need to do. And it's like, I just can't make myself do them. So,
Yeah, good. I
you
mean,
know,
not good, but I have a sense of
yeah, it's just like, and so I just get stuck and paralyzed.
Mhm.
I know that it's my psyche trying to keep me safe.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, well, this is not helpful.
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to give you a little, like I told you, we're going to work on the resonant goal first, but I just have to
Right.
give you a little foretaste of one of the pieces down the road, which I strongly suspect is at work here is, and those pieces of your psyche, those parts of you, are, as you know, are trying to keep you safe. And it's possible to have conversations with them where they are willing to move forward, like where you can get their agreement to let you move forward. They probably have some conditions that would make it
Yeah.
safe for you to move forward. And if you were willing to find out what those are and genuinely appreciate those parts of you for keeping you safe, you probably could really have a breakthrough. So that's what from my experience, that is one of the big things that's happening when we have something in us which is keeping us back. It's our inner protectors are saying, no, this is not safe for you. And we can work with them. But to
Yeah.
get So then for the overall goal that you want, the resonant goal, if I lead the revolution with ease and grace and confidence, if that were true, would that really make a difference? Like, do you think that would take care of this feeling of inner resistance, or is there something else that needs to be added to handle that? Would that, if that were really true, if you really are leading the revolution with ease, grace, and confidence, would that mean you don't have any more resistance to moving forward into the next level of your leadership?
Yeah, I guess that's what I mean with the confidence piece, is that I have an unerring belief in myself and my ability to really be that leader.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You know, yes, it's okay. So do you doubt your ability right now to do that?
I think because, so I'm not a joiner, right? So I've always kind of walked my own path and beaten my own drum and done my own thing. And so I have not followed the path that a lot of people have who
Yeah.
are experts in my field. A lot of them go through the Association of Fundraising Professionals and they're members, and they've gotten their certified fundraising executive certificate. And I'm just like, I don't need any of that. I don't want any of that,
Yeah.
because for me, I'm forging a new path. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested in best practices, but what I'm truly interested in is better practices.
Mm-hmm. I
Because
like that.
best practices are only going to get us so far. And I am very innovative and very creative. And so that's part of what I mean by leading the revolution, is that I'm an outside the box thinker.
Mm-hmm.
Really so I've been in business for 21 years, and my grad degree is actually a combination of social work and business, which is very quirky.
But perfect for your audience.
Right, exactly. So I have a kind of unusual approach, and I haven't taken kind of the straight path. So I think part of it for me is, that I'm not credentialed in the right way.
Mhm.
And I think, I don't have the AFP going, yes, we sanction you. So I think for me, because I'm kind of like a lone ranger and a little bit of a rogue, uh,
A little bit.
yeah, need a bit. Probably wouldn't surprise you to know that I've been arrested for civil disobedience twice in Washington.
Now that you mention it, totally in character, yes.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so that I think is kind of one of the sources when I'm moving into this authority figure. It's like there are certain people in that kind of sphere or the industry who know who I am and totally get that I know what I'm talking about. And then I think because I haven't really played the game, I think that's where my concern comes in about.
And you might get trolled or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if that weren't a concern, you would just, so I'm just going to come back to the resonant goal just to make sure that we really have identified what would make all the difference, that if it were true. So if you really are leading the revolution with ease and grace and confidence, does that mean that those concerns are just gone? Like, does that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So,
Like I don't care about what they say or think, and that it's like, and I'm kind of already there, like,
yeah, I kind of get that. It's
yeah,
like what Dr. Seuss said, those who matter won't mind, and those who mind won't matter. It's like,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
wise Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the next level of this, getting this resonant goal, like having so. And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna translate it for your subconscious mind, because right now your subconscious mind is like, when you start thinking about really moving ahead and being at that level, your subconscious mind ties up in knots, and it's your stomach up in knots. I mean, maybe the mind too, but it's basically a feeling of ah. So we're going to help your subconscious mind understand what that looks like and sounds like and feels like to you, to help your subconscious mind know, oh, okay, maybe it's not as terrifying as I think, or it might actually drive up more resistance. It can go either way, but we're going to make it clearer to your subconscious mind. So you ready to play and do that?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
awesome. So we're going to do a process I call the 6 senses to clarity. And clarity is one of the place we have to start for anything we want to create. And so that's what we're going to do, is get deeper clarity. So when it's really true, Sarah, that you are leading the revolution with ease and grace and confidence, what does that look like? And by look like, I mean literally like you'd see it, like a photograph or a movie or maybe a slideshow of images. And it could look like something you see yourself doing or somebody else doing, or things that are happening around you, or maybe it's something more metaphoric or symbolic. We're going to look for 3 things that you will see when it's true. You really are leading the revolution with ease, grace, and confidence. What will that look like?
So one of the visuals that comes to mind is me on a stage with like an audience of people who are like really excited about what I'm talking about.
How can you tell they're really excited from looking at them?
Like I'm seeing a lot of nodding heads. People are going, yes, like sometimes they burst into spontaneous applause. Some of it is laughing.
Yep, good. So it sounds like you have a clear visual of what that looks like, which is what I'm
Yep.
looking. Okay, awesome. We're looking for 2 more things you will see when it's really true that you are leading the revolution with ease and grace and confidence. Maybe some other aspect of it, like
The other visual that comes to mind is kind of like a Teflon suit.
mm-hmm.
When people like throw eggs at me, it just slides right off.
So the image is not just the Teflon suits, but the eggs hitting it and then
Right. It just goes right off.
I love it. Okay, good. And one more thing you will see, that when it's really true that the fear of rejection and abandonment and all of that that's within you is just so gone. It's just, you're just leading the revolution with ease and grace and confidence. What does that look like when those sort of deep-seated fears are gone?
Just like my central nervous system will be relaxed.
Good. So what image comes to mind for your central nervous system is relaxed? What does that look like?
I just think of it as like just that I'm relaxed, that I'm embodied. Because like one of the things I do when I get jacked up is like I go into my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So like just being really present in my own body, really aware of my breath. Yeah, just in kind of a relaxed present state.
Good. And how can we tell by looking at you that you're in this relaxed, aware, embodied presence? What does that, what do you see literally that looks like? It could be something you see.
Boy.
This is the part where your subconscious mind's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
So we're really just looking to see what comes to mind. It could be something literally you see, or it might be something more metaphoric, what it looks like, so, or symbolic. So what does it look like when you, like literally could be you see yourself, you're sitting cross-legged and you're smiling with a gentle Buddha smile, or I don't know, or it could look
Yeah,
like,
I kind of picture myself like on a chaise lounge with a cup of tea.
okay, beautiful. So on a
That's
chaise
how
lounge,
like my body will feel like, oh yeah, we're just relaxed on the couch with a cup of tea and not like running around worried about things and checking things on the list. And
good idea. Great work. So you've got a clear image of what that looks like. You on the chaise lounge with a cup of tea, the picture of relaxation and grace, because it's all unfolding just perfectly. You don't have to.
exactly.
Okay, good. Well done. So now we're going to, do you feel like you have enough visual images that you're clear about what it looks like to have this goal be true?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now we're going to explore the next sense, which is hearing. So when it's really true that you are leading the revolution with ease and grace and confidence, what will you hear? And by hear, I mean literally hear. It might be something you tell yourself, like, oh, this is easy. Or it might be something you say out loud to somebody else, or somebody says to you. Could be sounds around you, like applause or the ocean. Or it might be something just symbolic, like, gongs sounding or something. So we're going to look for 3 things you will hear when it's really true that you are leading the revolution with ease and grace and confidence.
One of the things that I often say when I'm really turned on is like, oh my God, this is so fun. Right. So
I love that.
kind of my signature line when I'm like juiced up and ready, like just, really living in my passionate turned on
I
space.
totally get that about you. That is you, totally passionate. Oh my God, this is so fun.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
I
two
think
more,
the other
yeah, go
two
ahead.
other things, applause,
Okay.
like whether that's in the form of real applause or like, oh my God, yeah, like just
Mhm.
resonating with what I'm saying.
Mhm. And then one more, and this one we're looking for, we're exploring what will it sound like when that whole fear, terror of rejection and abandonment, trolls, you know, all being attacked, all that is just gone. What does that sound like?
Breath.
Yeah, yeah, you can hear your own breath. Just
Yeah.
in and out. Good. Does the auditory part of this feel complete? Do you have enough things of what you will hear to, or is there anything else we need?
I don't think so. I think that's good.
Okay, awesome. So now, when it's really true that you are on stage with your audience and you can see them nodding their heads and spontaneously going, yes, and breaking into applause, and they're super excited with you, and you see the Teflon suit, the egg splats on it and just slides right off. And you see yourself in the chaise lounge with the tea, just very gracefully relaxed. And you hear yourself say, oh my God, this is so much fun. And you hear the people applauding and just resonating, oh my God, yes. And you hear your own breath. When all those things are true, what is the emotion of that? What is the feeling?
Calm.
Mm, good. Anything else or just calm?
Well, I mean, you know, I do tend to get pretty enthusiastic and passionate about it. So it's like,
You-
yeah, but I think for me, like, it's just about being in that place where I'm so grounded and so centered
Mhm.
and I'm so sure about myself and what I'm doing that
Yeah.
the voice is going, they're gonna throw eggs at you, girlfriend. And I'm like, so those voices will be silent. So it'll just be like I'll be in
Mhm.
this like grounded, calm, zen space where I just fully occupy my own body, but also just really fill up the space around me.
Mhm.
You
And you
know,
mean
because I
that you're just radiating, or what do you mean by you fill up the space around you?
well, you know, I think as women, we get taught to shrink in so many ways. And then we apologize for taking up the space we do take up. Right. So I just, for me, when I talk about like the ease, it's not just that leading the revolution will be easy, but that I will be at ease.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
will kind of like just be okay filling up the space that I'm occupying and not like shrinking or, you know, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I don't apologize for much, but
Yeah, I don't see you going, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But I understand
yeah,
that really being calm and grounded in this Zen space, just filling up the space. Like you are here, there's no doubt, and you are just comfortable with that and
yeah.
calm and grounded in that. Good. So I'd like you to actually allow yourself, just close your eyes for a moment and actually let this feeling well up inside of you of calm, so grounded and centered, the Zen space where you fill up the space around you. And just let me know when it's present. This is your body knows what this is. You wouldn't come up with it otherwise. So just let it become present and tell me when it's there.
Like all this monkey mind chatter going on. I'm like,
Yeah, so that's I just want to tell you your inner resistance. I
yeah,
understand you need to be handled. So would you, if you would just allow for Sarah to have this experience of what it would be like to have it be true, that'd be great. If you can't allow it, we understand we need to work with you, but you will get handled and heard at the appropriate time. But right now we're just seeing if we can give Sarah an experience of what this would be like, and just see if that parts of you, the monkey mind that's sort of going, don't do that, can just calm down and let you have this experience. And if not, we probably need to work with those parts of you first. But just see if you can allow that just for a few moments. You can have her back afterwards. Just letting her experience this feeling of calm, so grounded and centered, filling up the space around her, this Zen space.
yeah, I can feel it.
Awesome. Where are you noticing it in your body?
Well, I mean, I just my legs feel really like rooted to the ground, but also in my solar plexus and my, my root chakra
Great.
feel.
Good. So these are 3 areas. Your legs are rooted to the ground, the solar plexus, and your root area. Good. So I think we might need to look at each one of them separately. Since you mentioned the legs rooted to the ground, we'll explore that one in some depth first. I'll just ask you actually before I go ahead. Do these feel like there's 3 separate areas that we need to look at each one of them separately, or do we look at them all together?
Yeah, they kind of feel separate.
That's what I'm feeling too. Okay, so let's start with your legs rooted to the ground. If that feeling in your legs had a temperature, would it be warm or cool or neutral temperature?
Warm.
Okay, great. And if it had a color, what color would it be?
Brown.
Brown. Okay, good. And if it had a shape, what shape would that feeling in your legs, that warm brown feeling, have?
Kind of like the roots of a tree, kind of twisty and a little bit gnarled. And
Okay, got it. And if you could reach out your hand and touch them, would they also feel like roots of a tree or something else?
yeah, they would feel like the roots of a tree, but they'd be like warm. They wouldn't, like, a lot of times tree roots are cold.
Right in the ground and everything. Yeah, but these are warm. Good. And if these, this feeling in your legs, this warm, brown, rooty, gnarled, twisted, warm roots going down, had a smell, what would it smell like?
Soil, like
Soil.
earthiness.
Earthy, yeah, I get that. Earthy soil. Awesome. Good. So we're now going to go to the solar plexus area, or do we go to the roots next? Which one seems like we should go to next?
No, it feels like we should jump up here.
Okay, so jumping up to the solar plexus, just notice that feeling for a moment, connect with that, and notice if that feeling in your solar plexus had a temperature. Would it be warm, cool, neutral?
It's actually a little bit cool.
A little cool? Okay, great. And if that little bit cool feeling in your solar plexus had a color, what color would it be?
It's like metallic silver.
Okay. And if that metallic silver feeling that's a little cool there had a shape, what shape would it have?
It's kind of like a concave. So it's dented in, right? And then it's kind of about this big, and it's got it's almost like a plate or a platter kind of here.
Okay, great. And then, and if you could touch it, what would it feel like to your fingers?
Smooth and cool.
Smooth and cool, kind of like metal or something else?
Yeah, metal.
Okay, great. And then the last question about it is, if this little bit cool metallic silver platter of cool metal here in your solar plexus, if it had a smell, what would that smell be?
Snow.
Okay, great. And then now we're going to go down to the root, the third area, and just connect with that area of your body and the energy there. And just notice if it had a temperature, would it be cool, warm, neutral?
It's like hot.
Hot. Okay, cool. I mean, I shouldn't say cool. So staying with this hot feeling in your root, if it had a color, what color would it be?
It's blue.
Blue. And if this hot blue feeling in your root had a shape, what shape would it be?
It's like a big gemstone, but it's kind of like an eggplant shape. So one end is kind of more a little bigger than the other.
Gotcha. Is it sort of pointing like the lower end's the bigger one or the upper one, or is it?
Well, it's kind of like it's almost like a kidney bean shape or like an eggplant shape, but so one end is kind of smaller than the other, but it kind of.
So it's more horizontal shape than vertical shape. Is that what?
Yeah.
You're doing? Gotcha. Okay, good. And if you could reach out and touch this hot blue gemstone that's sort of shaped like a kidney bean or an eggplant, what would it feel like to your fingers?
Like, do you know what calcite feels like?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it feels like calcite. The main thing is that you know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And if it had a smell associated with it, what would the smell be?
like a campfire.
Lovely. Good. And now, if all of these things you've talked about, you on the stage, the audience very excited, the Teflon suit with the egg sliding off, the chaise lounge with the tea. Oh my God, this is so fun! And the applause and the sound of your own breath and silence, and this feeling of calm, grounded, centered zenness, filling up the space around you that you experience as these warm brown roots that smell like earth, and the silver, cool, metallic feeling of platter in your solar plexus, and smells like snow, and the hot blue eggplant or kidney-shaped gemstone that feels like calcite and smells like a campfire. If you could put all of these things into your mouth and you could taste it, what would the taste of it all together be? This is, of course, not a question you can answer rationally, but that's not the point. We're talking to your subconscious mind. What would the taste of that be if you put it all together?
It would be delicious.
Okay, and delicious.
It would have like a really strong umami to it.
Yep, makes sense to me.
Yeah, it would be like really savory with like a touch of salt.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be like the best thing I ever put in my mouth. My whole body would go, oh, yum.
Yeah, so you're kind of present to it right now, aren't you? You're almost like,
Yeah.
oh, yum right now. It's so good. It's so good. So congratulations, you've just translated the goal of I lead the revolution with ease and grace and confidence so that your subconscious mind understands it. And how does that change things for you? Like you have this embodied experience of it now. How does that help you, or what does that do for you?
Yeah, I mean, like I feel so like my stomach's not in knots, my mind isn't racing, like all the things that were happening at the beginning of this are just like whoop, gone.
Yeah. So this is the feeling of your mind, your subconscious mind being aligned with this goal. It's what we've done today is probably not enough for it to truly be aligned with it, because there are parts of you that may have conditions. They're like, okay, that's well and good to have a taste of it, but before we do that, we need to make sure that we have other pieces. But you can feel how this is an alternate reality that you really could have. Like it really is an embodied experience of it. And that's the point of it, to have you tell yourself like, oh, now I know what that feels like. I understand on a gut level what that feels like. It's real. Like I could have it.
Right. I can have it more.
Exactly, and more often. So why don't I'm going to show you now. I'm going to go back to the 6 steps of the soul alignment process. So today we revealed your resonant goal, and we got you really in touch with what it'd be like for it to be true. So your subconscious mind gets it. What there probably is to do is, even though it feels really good right now, and you feel like now I know how this feels, it's probably not completely aligned. In other words, you probably can't hold on to it, or it will come and go, and you can't lean into it and rely on it and experience it as your daily experience. So the other steps are to assess your alignment, to actually see what inner work is needed for you really truly to be aligned with that all the time, forever, the end. So that's like a menu of what you need. And like I was saying before, you probably need to get permission from whatever parts of your subconscious mind are a little worried about this, or maybe more than a little worried about this.
Yeah.
And this is a step that a lot of times when people do inner work, they skip, which means that the work that they do doesn't stick. It doesn't stick if you don't have permission from your subconscious mind. So that's that step. And then the other pieces are to clear out non-beneficial energy, if there is any. I mean, it sounds like there is, because there's that area of that feeling of terror. That is not a beneficial energy.
No, I can tell you from experience, it is not. It's
So
not at all.
So that needs to be literally cleared out, but not just removed, but replaced with something beneficial that will really support you moving forward. And then and that might be all that you need. Sometimes you also need to have like an inspired action plan and a power practice, a practice that reminds you whenever things might get a little gnarly, like, no, this is my state, my home state, and align for it. So this is the work that the other pieces you could do, and that would really have it be truly aligned. And like I said, it might not take that much work, because I feel like your mission is, you're so strongly mission driven. I really feel like you're not going to need a lot of inner work. You just need a few tweaked things so that you're not in an argument with yourself anymore, and your resistance.
Yeah. Well, and like this has been so helpful, because I feel like this is the piece that's been missing, because I know what I want to do. I know what the resistance is about.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know what to do when it pops up again. I'm like, oh, hello, resistance.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily stop me from procrastinating or going through my sock
Yeah.
drawer all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, and I've known what, okay, great. I know this isn't beneficial, but I don't know what else to do about it.
Right. So that's why the next step is to assess your alignment, to see exactly
Yeah.
what is needed for to do that. And that is something that I will be happy to do for you. And I basically, there's a whole package that I have, which is a private breakthrough package where we do an alignment assessment and we do the other pieces too. And you could do just the alignment assessment, or we could do the other pieces you need so that you could have it. And I will send you the link to that. And if that is something
Awesome.
that interests you, we will do it. And that would be so wonderful, because I would really love to support you to, really not have anything in the way of you doing what you're here to
Yeah.
do. And yeah, so anything you want to say about your experience, or have you said it all already?
No, just it's really helpful, and it also gives me hope, because I've kind of felt stuck on the hamster wheel at this particular point in my growth. Like,
Mhm.
I know what the problem is. I don't, and I also know that you can't just go around it. Like, you got to go through to get to
Right.
the other side. It's like, when you're,
Yes.
I'll keep going, right? So
Exactly. Well, really, it's basically honoring all of your experience, to not try to step around it and ignore it and go,
right,
no, 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 like,
right.
because that
Well,
that resistance is there for a reason.
right.
It
Well,
needs
and it doesn't work. Like,
it
it
does.
might work for 5 minutes, but like, it's just going to come back and go, I'm back.
Exactly, exactly. And that's where we have to go to the level where you created it, which is what working with the subconscious mind
Yeah.
can do. And I promise you, I know you can clear this out and clear it out and replace it with higher truth, really, which is what
Yeah.
being aligned is about, is getting on a very deep level. I don't need to hold on to this old pattern anymore. Like, I really
Yeah.
can new.
Oh, I have absolute faith that you can
Mhm.
help me clear whatever I need to clear and replace it, and, shift it into a different space. Yeah. I mean, just based on the changes that came through just in a short period of time, I'm like, oh yeah, this is very possible.
Yes, it really is. Yeah.
Really
So I'll send you that
exciting.
link, and I look forward to supporting you, Sarah, because you are one of the people I really feel like I'm here to support, people who are here to light up a lot of other people and get them on their path. Like, I'm the one who helps you get solidly on your path. So that's
Nice. Well,
everything.
thanks.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. It's just always fun to hang out with you anyway.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being my guest on the BLOCKbuster Show. And I just also really want to honor and appreciate that, you come here with something that's pretty vulnerable, and every time people show up for the show, part of me is kind of like, wow, you've got guts. You're sharing
Yeah.
public something that you're dealing with. But it really does empower other people too, to realize, like, it's okay to talk about these things. In
Yeah.
fact, they are pretty much universal. If you are stepping out of your comfort zone, you are going to step into your resistance, which just wants to keep
Right.
you in your comfort zone. So it's a universal human experience, and it's especially true for people who are leaders. Like, as leaders, we are for sure raising our hand and saying, I'm going way beyond where I came from, way beyond what other people might have thought was possible for me. And that's the only way you're going to make the difference you're here for.
Great. Well, thank you so, so much.
You are so welcome. My pleasure. Okay, so everybody, that is the BLOCKbuster Show for this week. Join me next week at the same time. It's every Tuesday at 4 o'clock, where we get to talk to amazing people and help them remove their blocks. And you can listen in and also see what's possible for you. Like, it really is possible, even if you struggle for decades with stuff, to get rid of it quickly and efficiently and permanently when you work at the right order with the right steps. So that's what I love to help people do, to set you free, to make the difference you're here for. All
Awesome.
right. Thanks. I'm going to say goodbye for now until we meet again. Bye. Thanks, Sarah.